I already know how I want my movie to start. This is part two, by the way. I already know how I want my movie to start. Obviously, remember, all you guys who saw Prince of Egypt. Remember when you saw Prince of Egypt? You got the credits. This is a story. This story. The story of Moses is found in Exodus. I'm gonna have something like that. You have like this. You have first. You have the Sky Source logo, obviously, and you have the copyright, and then the movie. Then you have the play menu. You click play, obviously, and it says warning. This movie is not for children. You know what I'm saying? This more children than that. You have the screen goes black. And you said this story, Last of Us is based off the book of that. This adaptation is based off the book written by Ivan Omer. You know what I'm saying? And after that, you get the sign. You get the credit. The last hope for Zanus. And it starts off. You see the sunset, and Sarah, she's pregnant. She's pregnant with Tactius. Obviously, I don't want to spoil the story for you. And they're like, "Where's Tactius?" Yeah, he told me he wants to take a walk up the walls, and it zooms into Tactius' feet walking up the stairs. And while he's walking up the stairs, like the guards are like, "Your Highness," you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And Miramis like, "Tactius, your son's about to be born." You know what I'm saying? They ride to the walls. Tactius, your son's about to be born, and Tactius looks up to the sky. You see a visible face. I don't want to spoil the story for you. He's like, "It's time," and that's the beginning of the movie. Yeah, you get this, and when Tactius is born, you get the biology in Sarah's womb. When you get the baby, but when the baby is in the mother's womb, you see the biology. You guys know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna have somebody like that in the beginning, biology, and Takis is about to be born. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Oh my god, you're creative. Yes, I am very creative. That's how I want the beginning of Zanus to start. So I already know how I want my movie to start. I have an idea of how I want my movie to start. Obviously, you get this nice music when Takis is born, obviously, and after Takis is born, it transfers to Barak, and you get this like dark demonic theme, obviously, in Barak. You see all the demon wolves, and Famia is pregnant with a fool, obviously, and so right. Famia is pregnant with a fool, obviously, because Tactius. I won't spoil the story. Tactius and Fool are born on the same day. They're born on the exact same day, obviously. I don't want to spoil, so you'll find out what I mean by that when you read the book. Tactius and Fool are born on the same day. That's really like an amazing story, man. Yeah. So Peter Jackson will be helping me co-write this. So from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock every day, Peter Jackson will be co-writing the script with me in my two. I'll have Jon Favreau work on the script with me for two times a day. And then for the remaining 3 days, I'll have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni work on the script for me for 2 days and help me with the concepts for 2 days. And then the remaining 3 days are going to be hard at work looking at the rules and helping you guys make business calls. I don't pay you a fat bonus to just help me, just do concept arts and help me write the script. No, I'm going to put you to work. You're going to be helping you guys with business calls, as well as what? As well as I'm looking at those reels. Looking at a couple hundred reels for Zanus. I need you looking at the reels, man. And I'm putting $1 million into my software for my computer, man. Something super advanced. So when Jon Favreau look at the reels, you have this like advanced technology. Like you have whenever they want to choose, they choose a can. It says can, it's highlighted. You know what I'm saying? Can, it's highlighted. You know, this is top notch, yeah, man. I'm gonna tell the actors, look, man, I'm putting design a super advanced system that's easy for my 7 team. And me and Peter Jackson, we write our scripts, make the business calls, all that stuff. Something super advanced for the reels, yeah. This has been crazy, man. With a GPS. I'm also gonna have a GPS for my payment system too. Like you ever received $100,000, you ever received $2 million. This has been top notch, yeah. With the tax statements, you know what I'm saying, the tax deductions, you know what I'm saying, the rates, all that stuff, how much they got paid, the age deductions. That way the actors don't feel. So every time the actors get paid, the money gets wired into their account or direct deposit, right? And you get this statement of how much they got paid. The taxes, that way they don't feel like they got ripped off. You need to give them a statement, that way they know they didn't get ripped off yet. There's nothing worse than looking at your check and like, oh my god, did you rip me off by $4,000? No, make sure you have statements. So every time the actors receive their check, they get it. The system shows the statements of the taxes, all that stuff. The tax deductions, that way they don't feel like they got ripped off. See what I'm saying? So if an actor gets $100,000 every 2 weeks, you see the tax statements of his agent taking a 10%, the rates, all that stuff. The only actor who won't have to worry about the rates is Yvonne Joje, because Yvonne Joje is Canadian. He lives in Vancouver, so Yvonne Joje is getting his Canadian dollar. He's getting his rich $2.1 million after taxes around there. His rich $4 million, and he'll get his, I don't know, he'll get his like $100,000, $110,000 paycheck every 2 weeks. He's the only one who doesn't have to worry about the race because he lives in Canada, obviously. Whereas all the other actors, they don't live in Canada. Hence, so whenever if you get paid, if you feel like you got a bit less, don't forget I'm paying you in Canadian, hence you have the rates. You have the rates, obviously, the Canadian American rates. But even with the rates, they're still making their millions. They're still making a shitload of money, even more than Hollywood on average. And so I'm paying them a lot of money, obviously. Right? So going back to Peter Jackson, he'll be help me and my two screenwriters co-write the script every morning from 9 to 12. There'll be some days where I'll be working on the script even longer, obviously, till like maybe 10 o'clock at night, obviously. But for 3 hours a day, we work on the script from 9 to 12. Obviously, and then at 12 o'clock, around 12:30, everyone has lunch. And I'll give Peter Jackson and then 17 like 2 50-minute breaks within the first 3 hours of the day, the first half of the day. And after that, we have lunch. I'll give the 17 a nice like 45-minute break for lunch. Peter Jackson, you can give them a nice 5-minute break for lunch, obviously. Have the limo driver take them to a nearby buffet, and they eat there for like 45 minutes, an hour. Give them an hour. I'll give them like an hour break. Give the 17 like a 1 hour break, obviously, for lunch. That way they have time to enjoy themselves and eat, obviously. In the afternoon, the secretaries will be busy taking those calls and making business calls. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will help me with the concept arts of Peter Jackson, assistant director, obviously, for 2 days only. And the rest of the week, they're going to be staying in the office. The second half of the day, they're going to be in the office looking at those reels and making those business calls. And we're going to be in that. We're going to walk to the building next door, and John Howe and Alan Lee will be drawing, obviously, the world building and the characters, as well as the one who drew for Clarence the Clown. He'll be creating the wolves. Eriteth Walking in the Wolves, Fool, his son, all those guys. That's really looking something amazing. And the docu's filming all this, yeah, man. So from 1 o'clock to like 5 o'clock, me, Peter Jackson, the assistant director, my wife, two scriptwriters will be in that room planning out everything, discussing. So John Howe and Alan Lee and the other console artists will hang up the pictures, and we discuss what pictures we like best for the world building, for Xanus, for the Blood Valley, the Western Gilead Mountains, the Forest of Galathea, Barak, Xanus, the City's Edge, the Northern Gilead Mountains, the Blood Valley, Cyrus, Sappho. We discuss what pictures we like the best, and we sit down and we plan out. We plan out the story, obviously. We plan out what we want to happen in the story, what we want the lands to look like, all that stuff. The South look like, what the North looks like. What do the cursed demon answers in the South look like? What do the holy answers of the North? For the holy answers of the North, think something like Gandalf. Remember, you know how when Gandalf the White, you know how Gandalf has like white hair? He has this like nice like royal white robe. Well, think of somebody like that for the holy answers of the North. The human gods. I don't want to spoil the story for you. Think of somebody like that for the holy ancestors of the North. I spoiled it for you. I don't want to spoil it for you. Think of something like that for the holy ancestors of the North. Like something like Gandalf, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking something like Gandalf for the holy ancestors of the North, yeah. You see what I'm saying? For the cursed demon ancestor itself, think something like, I don't know. Think something like the Ring Race. The Ring Race except for demon wolves and demon bats. Think something like that for the cursed ancestors itself, yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, you give them ideas and they draw, obviously. They draw. This is top notch. And then once we do the console arts, that at 5 o'clock it's over. Everyone is off. Obviously, the 17 can go home. Me and Vita can go home, and Peter Jackson, the limo driver, will take him and John Howe and all of them to go back to their hotel. And all I ask Peter Jackson, look, man, even though you're off, all I ask every day, whatever we wrote down for that day, when you go to your hotel room with your assistant director, I'll have my assistant director with you. Go over what we wrote down that day and write your notes. Take some notes. You don't have to take detailed notes, but take a few notes. That way we're prepped. Take some notes. Have the assistant director will help. You can even have George Lucas help him. Have the assistant director help him take the notes every morning. Dedicate a good hour and a half, 2 hours of your time, and take notes from your assistant director. Then you're off for the rest of the day. Go down to the bar, in the hotel, have a beer. You can go to a bar rest. You can go to the bar with John Howe and all of them, have a beer. You're free for the rest of the day, and you get your weekends off. But I told you, because it's a movie, obviously, there'll be times when we're going to be staying in that concert room maybe till 10 o'clock at night, man. There'll be times when me, VJ, and like the assistant director and Peter and the concerts will be in that concert room till like 10 o'clock at night. There's definitely going to be some days where we're going to stay in that room or past the hours, obviously. But because I pay everyone a lot of money, they don't mind. Yeah, you pay me a lot of money, I'll work hard. Yeah, because I pay Peter Jackson that $10 sign bonus, and I spoil the shit out of him with the commercial ads. He's part of the ads. I'm spoiling him with the buffet. Staying at a nice hotel, limo driver would take him every day. He will work hard for me. He will work harder for me than what he even did in Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, man. I'm gonna tell Peter, look, man, I heard you winging for The Hobbit. I don't want you winging for The Hobbit. Otherwise, I'll be very, very pissed off. I don't want you winging for The Hobbit. I don't want you winging for Zanus. I want you to be well prepped when production starts. I'm not kidding around, Peter. I don't want you winging for The Hobbit. I want you to be prepped. As if you winged it, I'd be very pissed off. As Zanus is my baby. I wrote a masterpiece. I don't want anyone ruining my story, especially for the adaptation. There's nothing worse than writing an amazing book and the adaptation is terrible. No, I want my adaptations to be amazing. It will be amazing, obviously, because I know what I'm doing. I want my adaptations to be amazing. I don't want you, winging it for the Hobbit, man. Please, winging it for Zanes. I even know where I won't wing it. I'll take my notes. Yes, take your notes. I'll have my assistant director help you. And I've even George Lucas help him. That way you're prepped. And study your notes every day, too. Try to study your notes every day for the 3 years, obviously. That way, when production starts, you're fully prepped and you know what you want accomplished. You and your assistant director, the two scriptwriters, you guys know the gist of the story, and that way you get an amazing movie, obviously. Because for the Lord of the Rings trilogy, Peter Jackson had 3 years of pre-production. He was prepped. Hence why the Fellowship of the Ring was. Hence why the trilogy was amazing. Whereas the Hobbit, he had a little time to prep. And he winged it, obviously. Hence why The Hobbit wasn't that great. See what I'm saying here? It was not bad, but it wasn't. Compared to Lord of the Rings, it's pretty bad. You see what I'm saying? I don't want you winging for my movie. I want you to be well prepped when production starts. I told you, it'll probably take me a good 6-7 months to write the 3 volumes of Zanus. But there's a high chance we're going to do a few rewrites for some sections in the screenplay. Hence why it's going to take me probably 10 months to write the what. It'll take me 10 months to write the script, obviously. Obviously, right? To write the script. And it'll probably take me, Peter Jackson, all of them a good 6 months of concept arts around there. Me and Peter Jackson and John Howard, all of them will do concept arts for a good like 6 months. And after 6 months, and once everything's drawn and we decided what picture we want, what we want our land to look like, the north, the south, Zanus, Saphir, Cyrus, Barak, the Forest of Glass, the Valley of the Dark, the Western Gilead Mountains, the cursed Western Gilead Mountains, the ancient Gilead City, the city's edge, the Northern Gilead Mountains, the Blood Valley. Once we decided what we want our all the lands and characters look like, you can send John Howland and I'll lead all them home. Okay, guys, I don't need you anymore. You take your break. I'll fly you back home. Fly John Howland and I'll lead back home on your private jet. And what? And what? I'll pay them like a $100,000 bonus, and they get their $100,000 check like I don't know, the 30 or something like that. And the 40th they won't be working the 40th. The 40th they'll just be walking. Pay them $100,000 to draw, and pay them $100,000 to 30 because I want John Howland and all of them overseeing like the set building and like the mask. Considering they drew all the characters, you can have them like consult and all that stuff. Pay them $100,000 for that year to consult. Pay them something, obviously. And the 4th year, you don't have to pay them because they won't be working. They'll just be watching production. You can do it like that. I'm going to tell them, look, man, do you prefer to get your full $200,000 for the 6 months, or do you want me to pay you a $100,000 bonus for drawing for the 6 months, and you get your $100,000 the 3rd year? You can do something like that. We'll see what happens, obviously. Right? And once the amazing sacred script is now written, once you're gonna see the documentary, me and Peter Jackson, we're relieved. Oh my God, we finished the script. You know what I'm saying? We finished the nice Zanus script. Yeah, we finished. The script is now written. Obviously, the amazing script. Obviously, you're looking at an amazing script. Obviously, the amazing script is now written. Obviously, I know the amazing 600-page script is now written. The moment the script is done and written, I'm going to immediately have Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni start printing all the scripts. Okay, the actors are going to be flown in a couple months from now. I need you guys printing all the 40-plus scripts. Because you're looking at a good, 40 characters for Zanus. I want you printing all, because you also have the voice actors for the Eagles and Crows. and you're looking at 40-something characters, I want you printing all the 500-page 40 scripts. Which is a lot of work, but I don't pay you fat bonus. If you think I'm going to pay you a $20 million bonus, and a $9 million bonus, and a rich yearly salary, and have you suck off, you got anything coming, man. Hey John and Dave, I need you guys printing all the scripts. Me and VJ are gonna buy a nice like $20,000 printer for best printer out there for printing scripts. We're also gonna have to buy a lot of paper, thousands of pages worth of papers. Best paper for printing scripts, and we're gonna what? I like the color red. I want my scripts to be red color. Buy like nice red paper, and then I'm gonna use that to print all my scripts. You know, something top notch. And John Favreau and Dave Filoni are gonna be hard at work printing all those scripts. Look, man, I need you guys printing all these scripts. And when the actors, once the jet is now ready to pick up the actors in London or Los Angeles, wherever they live, right? I want you putting the script in an envelope, the sacred script in the envelope, and putting it on all their seats. And I'll have my secretaries tell their agent, make sure you leave their scripts on the plane. That way, when they're drunk, they don't forget. Don't bring your script with you. Leave it on the plane. That way, when you go on your jet and you see and you're drunk, obviously, when you won't forget your script. It's right next to your seat. You won't forget it, but you won't forget your script, obviously. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And the moment I finish writing the script, me and VJ can now begin practicing our lines. So I'm gonna tell VJ, hey, VJ, the moment the script is finished, me and you, we need to start practicing our lines. So early, like towards the end of the first year, me and VJ are gonna start practicing our lines. So by the time we flew in the actors, me and VJ would have already memorized some of our lines. And every day the second year, from like 8 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon, we have to practice our lines all day. They were prepped, obviously. See what I'm saying here? Yeah. Right. So Peter Jackson will be helping me co-writing the script. Obviously, he'll be helping me co-writing the script, the concept arts, and helping me and VJ with the business calls, obviously. Right? So the hotel party and the red carpet, when me and VJ are going to make the calls, me and VJ and Peter are going to make the calls to the Bergen's Dock Hotel. I showed you pictures looking at a luxury hotel. We're going to have to book that hotel for the 2-day hotel party and a huge red carpet event. Obviously, I'll give the owners $10 million for the deal, which is a good deal. Peter Jackson will help me with all that, obviously. When we fly in the owners and the organizers, Peter Jackson will be in the room with me and the accountant and legal advisor, and we're going to sign that deal. They're going to sign that deal, obviously. Peter Jackson will help me with that. Okay, Peter, I want to rent a luxury hotel, the Bergen's Dock Resort. You know what I'm saying? For the 2-day hotel party, all you can drink alcohol, DJs. Yeah, okay, Ivan, I'll help you with that. You know what I'm saying? I want to have a red carpet event at the hotel. A big red carpet event at the hotel, yeah. On the day of the pre-order, yeah. VJ's gonna have to make that call to Amazon for the merch and movie sales. We're gonna have to sign that big deal with Amazon. Ivan and VJ get 60, Amazon gets 40. I'll sell posters and like coffee mugs, like 3. I'll have my posters come with 2-3 coffee mugs, and then I'm gonna sell the 4K Blu-ray movie on a 4K Blu-ray box set on Amazon. This has been top notch, obviously. And Peter Jackson does not get a dime for the what? He does not get a dime for the merch. He does not get a dime for the movie sales. I'm paying you $75 million. That's good enough. You're making like $78 in your New Zealand dollar. Peter Jackson's making almost $80 million in New Zealand dollar, because New Zealand money is not worth as much Canadian money. And $75 million in Canadian is like 78 million New Zealand dollar, 78 million. And Peter Jackson's making a lot of money. I'm paying you $75 million. That's good enough. And I'm giving you $2 million for release. That's a good deal. If you don't like it, go back to Hollywood, go back and begin to say you don't like my offer. And they'll accept the deal, I accept your deal. Even though you agree, you're paying me a lot of money. Yes, I'm paying you a lot of money. You're walking away with $40+ million in your bank. Plus, and you also get your commercial money, and I'm spoiling you for the 4 years with your buffet, your limo driver, all that stuff. You're part of the ad shoots. You're part of all the parties. Yeah. Obviously. Right? So Peter Jackson will help me with the hotel party and the red carpet event. My deal is $10 million for the Bergen's Dock Resort owners. If you don't like my deal, I'll find another hotel. They'll accept my deal, obviously, because I'm paying them a lot of money. I'm going to tell the hotel owners to make sure you hire a good 10 photographers to take pictures with my 3 photographers, and make sure they have top-notch cameras. I don't want them having cheap phones. No. Make sure they have top high-end camera, like $1,500, $2,000 cameras. That way you get professional pictures. Yeah, we can rent all that. I pay you $10 million. You can easily afford it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I want a nice red carpet. Obviously, you have to buy all that. The barricade, you have to hire security guards for the hotel party and the red carpet. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sky says I'm gonna have to have my photographers take pictures for the billboards, the posters for the red. You know how you have those billboards and posters for the red carpet? You have to take pictures for that. The Sky Source background, the Amazon background. You know when you take pictures with you know when they take pictures and you have that background, the red carpet, you need to what? Create a Sky Source background and an Amazon background for the red carpet. You have the Amazon billboard, the Sky, what? The Last of Us Zanus billboard poster. You need that for the red carpet. Yeah, I'll have my photographers take those pictures and send it to the owner. You have to prepare all that. Yeah, I won't prepare all that, you know what I'm saying? Obviously. Peter Jackson will help me with renting the IMAX cameras. The film IMAX cameras. I'm gonna tell you, look, man, I don't want my movie to be filmed in digital. I want the natural look, like Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I know you want natural, yeah. I want the natural look. That's why I'm gonna at least 10 film IMAX cameras. Not digital. Digital is good for full CGI. My movie will not be full CGI, as I'm gonna mix it with I'm gonna build actual sets and mix it with the advanced CGI technology. That way my world look natural, obviously. Lease, rent a good 10 cameras is enough. I'm not going to lease 30. You're wasting money. I'll rent a good 10 IMAX cameras for the movie. Obviously, so three main cameras. You got 3 main cameras for all the scenes, and the other ones are for gliding and like high shots and all that stuff. I'm going to lease, right? So Peter, I want to rent the best film IMAX cameras. Yeah, Ivan, IMAX cameras, best camera in Hollywood, and he helps me rent all the film IMAX cameras. I'm also going to update all my IMAX cameras for focus and sound. That's where there's something top notch. And I'm also going to rent the best equipment for the cameras. So Peter Jackson will help me with the equipment for the cameras and the 10 IMAX cameras. Film IMAX cameras. Again, the IMAX cameras are going to cost me like $5 to like $7 million, which is easily affordable with $80 million budget, obviously. Obviously, right? Yeah. He's also going to help me with what? The equipment for the cameras. The drones, the best drones out there. Rent the best drones, obviously. We're gonna rent the best drones. Obviously, and the best equipment for the cameras, the gliding equipment, the stands for the war. The thing that the stands that move. You need to rent. Me and Peter Jackson, we can rent the best equipment for the cameras. Obviously, I need Peter Jackson to help me with the food, the kitchen equipment. Okay, Peter, we need to feed our crew. This is the kind of Peter. I don't want to serve the crewmen shitty food. Yeah, okay, let's serve the food a nice buffet. Yeah, let's serve the crewmen a nice buffet. Yeah, I want nice hamburger sliders. I want thin crust pizza. Not thick crust pizza, thin crust crispy pizza, like cheese, pepperoni, veggie, garlic sauce, hot sauce. I'm saying I want nice poutine, nice breaded crispy fries, gravy, cheese. I want wings. I want boneless barbecue ribs, wings. I want a couple of options of fried rice, 6-7 options of teriyaki meats, sweet teriyaki meats and spicy meats, obviously, right? As well as like chicken balls and like a huge salad. And he helps me. We call the best farms in Switzerland, and we buy all the equipment. The vending machine. I want the best vending machine for the crewmen. Orange Crush, Sprite, Mountain Dew. Obviously, right? Coke. All you can drink milkshake. We need to rent all the vending machines. Yeah, to feed the crewmen. Yeah. The breakfast, the food for the breakfast. Obviously, the eggs, bacon, sausages, all buy all that from the farm. Strudels. Donuts, pancakes, bacon. We need to order all that from the farms. Peter Jackson will help me with all that, obviously. The kitchen equipment for the chefs. I'm not going to rent some cheap trailer like they did in Lord of the Rings. No, I'm going to rent top-notch kitchen equipment. The plates, the dishwashing machine. We need to make all those calls, yeah, for the dishwashers to wash the dishes, yeah. Obviously, right? The best machine equipment for the masks, for creating the masks for the wolves and bats. Where me and Peter Jackson and VJ will rent the best machinery for creating masks. Rent it, don't buy it. Rent everything. That way what? That way you don't. That way you what? You don't. There's a few things I'll buy, but most of the stuff I'm gonna rent. Obviously, don't buy it. Rent it. Rent the best machinery for creating all the masks for Aerotat. Because I want the wolves wearing masks. I don't want a full on CGI Aerotat. No, I want Aerotat to look natural. That you have the actor wear a mask and you apply the CGI technology towards this mask. This is gonna be crazy, man. Because I'm renting the best machine equipment for the mask. You're looking at something fucking scary for the mask of Aerotat, his son, Morale, and the feast and all. This is gonna be crazy, man. Obviously, right? The sewing machine equipment for creating the costumes for all the actors and wolves, for all the actors. I want the clothing designers custom making all the clothing for all the actors in the movie, both minor and major in my movie, obviously. Whereas the extras, you rent it or buy it for them. Call a top-notch company that sells medieval clothes, and you rent it and buy it for all the civilians. Just rent it. It's cheaper that way, obviously. He also be helping me making calls for the equipment for making the cost for making the armor too, armor and weapons too, for Weather Workshop. Right? Hey, we need to make calls. Let's buy the best equipment for creating the weapons and armor for all the actors and all the actors in the movie, as well as some of the extras too. I want to ask Weather Workshop. Hey, can you pull off 25,000 armor for the wolves and 50,000 armor for the Zanians? If you can't, you can create like a couple thousand, and the rest, well, just rent it for the extras, obviously. And Peter Jackson, I gave him an unlimited budget, whereas Lord of the Rings, they gave him a fuck you budget, man. As Lord of the Rings, they only gave him $90 million for each movie, which isn't that great. Whereas me, I gave him $980 million towards the movie and like $390 million towards special. When I tell Peter Jackson I want $390 million towards special effects, CGI technology, who'll be like, holy shit, that's a lot of money. You're looking at unheard of technology. You're looking at revolutionary technology for Xanus. Yeah, for the world-building action sequences, horror, yeah. That's why you're looking at crazy buzz for Xanus, obviously. Peter Jackson, I also need him helping me and my wife renting out the unheard of CGI computer technology for the blue screen, green screen for my movie. I'm putting $390 million towards CGI technology. And just looking at something unheard of for my movie, man. A revolutionary technology of what? Of technology for the world building actions and what? And horror of the wolves. That's something crazy, yeah. That's the only thing Peter Jackson will help me meet with. Those main like 6-7 things. Obviously. The only thing he won't help me and VJ with is a sign. We don't need his help with Amazon. I'll have VJ make the call. I'll have me or VJ make the call to Amazon. We'll call the front office. Okay, we want to do business with you guys. Okay, we're interested in what I'm saying. We sign that deal 60-40. Ivan and VJ get 60, Amazon gets 40. For the merch, for the posters and mugs, obviously, and the movie sales, Ivan and VJ get 60, Amazon gets 40. That's the deal. If you don't like my offer, I'll just release it online and you're missing out on the billions. Obviously. And let's say if me and VJ end up releasing our movie online, if I release our movie online, I would gladly give the actors and Peter Jackson a piece of the profits, obviously. Because if I release our movie online, me and VJ would be making like 90% of the royalties. And so if I release our movie online, I would gladly give the actors 0.2, 0.3% of the profits, obviously. Because I'd be making like 9% of the pie. But with Amazon, because it's 60-40, Amazon's like a big chunk of the pie, I would never give the actors a piece of the royalties. The only way I would ever give the actors a piece of the royalties is if I release my movie online. But I told you, I'm not a fan of online, as online is less professional, you know what I'm saying, and I won't be able to sell merch. And I guaranteed I'm going to be signing that deal with Amazon, as I'd rather have my movie on 4K Blu-ray, and I want to have merch, my own merch. Obviously, as the chances of me and VJ releasing a movie online is not high, as we're guaranteed going to be signing that contract with Amazon, as Amazon will gladly agree to the deal, obviously. Hence why no actor is worth a piece of me and VJ's royalties, yeah. Zero. You can bargain all you want, you're not getting a piece of me and VJ's royalties for the merch or the what. Except for the big A's. The big A's actors get a piece of the pie for the poster sales. I'm giving them $1.5 million, which is still pocket change compared to how much me and VJ are making, obviously. See what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. And Peter Jackson will also be consulting with the 7 team. He won't be doing the dirty work, but he'll be consulting with them, like, help me, give them good tips, that kind of stuff. Okay, do this for this. You can have, hey, Peter, help Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni out. Consult with them for the sets. Help them out. You executive produce Lord of the Rings. You obviously have an idea of the best companies out there for sets. Yeah, Ivan, I know all the best companies for all the sets, and you consult with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and they call it. They help. You can help them out. You can help them out when they call the top-notch companies. I want Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni to handle the sets. Hey, look, man, you guys, for the set building and all that stuff, I want you guys making those calls, man. Whereas the other ones handle all the other stuff. And Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni will be handling all the other stuff too, but I want them making the calls for the sets. The wood, all that, the building equipment for the sets, as well as you have the sets, you also have the machinery for building the sets. You know what I'm saying? Like the bulldozers, all that stuff. You have to buy, you have to rent all that. Costs us money, yeah. Obviously, obviously. And I want my accountant. I want to my accountant. Look, man. Every month, I want you giving me updates on how much money is getting burned. As a lot of money will be getting burned throughout the throughout the what, throughout pre-production, especially post-production. Production, a lot of money will be getting burned. A lot of money will be getting burned throughout production. That's why I want you giving me updates of how much money is getting burned, because a lot of money will be getting burned, obviously, during the process of the 4.5 years of Zanus. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Right. So once the first year ends, and me and Peter Jackson, we did our concept arts. We made the calls for all the main stuff. You know what I'm saying, we made the calls for our IMAX cameras, our equipment for the cameras. We signed that contract with Amazon. We signed that contract for the Virgin Dark Resort hotel party and red carpet. We made the calls for the food. You know what I'm saying? The kitchen equipment, the CGI technology, obviously, right? Computer software, obviously. Right, the costumes, the weapons, and armor. We made the calls for all that, obviously. Right, Peter Jackson. I'll have him stay in his hotel, and I'll have all. Look, man. Once we finish, once we all look, man. Once you finish writing the script, I need you to go over your directing notes every day. I'm gonna tell you, look, man. Go over your directing. Try to go over your directing notes every day, the way you're well prepped, obviously. And then second year, the stars are flown into my office. I'm gonna show my camera here.